just so that people are clear, the VIN number that we keep talking about, the vehicle identification number, people can access that number at the lower left hand of their windshield or inside the driver's door?
I hope they're paying attention to you. They can find that VIN in that location and go to safercar.gov to see if their vehicle's in the recall.
And that's the website, safercar.gov. Now, if someone checked their VIN number and got the all clear on May 1st, do they need to do anything further, or are they good to go?
We suggest people check that on a weekly basis.
Now, you issued the additional recall in the middle part of May. How quickly can people assume that you're getting the uploaded information into your website so that if they check the website, they can be confident that the information they get is current?
So thank you for that question, because clarity for consumers is critical here. And Takata had to file their defect reports before the auto manufacturers could put together their information. And what's clear is we can't just get numbers, they have to be accurate. So they have to do their due diligence, and then we have to do ours. At this point, we have 7 out of the 11 manufacturers have provided the information, which are now covering up to 30.4 million vehicles, but weekly people should be checking.
So let me just ask you this. Is there anything else that you can do or we can do to make certain that this process is clearly and effectively communicated to the driving public?
I think you just did part of it, and we're trying to do the same thing, which is give people safercar.gov and helping them on a weekly basis go. I do have to acknowledge the auto manufacturers have stepped up and really provide an accelerated production of those numbers, which we're checking, so they're getting up there very quickly.
Okay, but then that brings up the other point, their ability to access the remedy inflators. Where do we stand with that? The production and distribution of those remedy inflators, where are you?
Again, very important for people to understand the whole process, and I won't give the whole list now, but part of what this whole hearing is really addressing is before May 19th, there was denial of a defect. There was mostly a focus on root cause. There was concern about the supply chain, whether the remedy even worked or not. So that all changed on May 19th.
Well, let me stop you there. We're no longer concerned if the remedy works?
I'm sorry?
We are no longer concerned if the remedy works?
Oh, we absolutely are. And that's what I'm saying. On May 19th, the focus changed. There's been acknowledgement by Takata that there's a recall and they're all national. The second is a consent order with NHTSA, which allows us to be directly involved in oversight for testing to make sure that the remedy is going to be adequate or not. And then the third part of that is a coordinated remedy program, which goes to your question, and that is now NHTSA is in the driver's seat. And we will coordinate and prioritize to make sure that the supplies are available and that they get out there as quickly as possible.
But just so people are clear, to cut through any of the talk surrounding this, are the replacement devices safe? Not safer, but safe, unequivocally safe.
And thank you, because again, that's a very important, confusing point. People need to look up their VIN number now, and if they have a recall to go get a replacement inflator, they need to do that. And we got to point out, there are millions of airbags that are out there every day protecting people, including millions by Takata, that are functioning properly. We are trying to get the defective ones off. And so, yes, they need to go get it fixed. What we will do is identify if there is an interim remedy, because you are correct. Some of these may not have the longevity that is needed to make sure that it's a lifelong, for the entire life of the vehicle, fix.
So, what am I supposed to do? One of my kids calls me and says, hey, I got a bad VIN number, but good news, they've got a replacement and I'm going to get it fixed. Am I okay with that? Am I okay letting my child drive that car?
And your dealer should be able to tell you whether they have a fix that is long-term or whether they have an interim remedy. And the bad news is, if there's an interim remedy, you should get a call back from the dealer when it's time to get that fixed for the long term.
Okay, so even somebody gets it fixed may not really have it fixed.
And the dealer better make that clear.
I just want to ask you one thing quickly. I was being interviewed on a national business show last week, and they pointed out to me that in New York, I guess is where the show originated, that they called dealers around the town and they said they were laughed at when they said, can we bring our vehicle in to get our airbag changed, that they did not have a supply. So I did the next logical thing and called my local guy who does all things cars back in the district, and he actually provided me some, what I think is this was recent information. Number one, no one is reporting any panic or irate customers as a result of the recall. I do remember a few months ago some dealers were complaining about mad customers. I'm going to assume this was when there was no process in place. And only one dealer had a real volume for replacements. Another one had maybe 1,000 that needed to be replaced, but no one was bringing their vehicles in. And that is and will continue to be a problem, that people aren't recognizing that their vehicle needs to be fixed. My time has expired. I'll recognize the gentlelady from Illinois. 5 minutes for your questions, please.